for more now. I'm joined by our global economics analyst, Saruhan Hatipoglu. Saruhan, great to see you.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I follow you on social media. I know the answer to this, but tell our global audience, what was your reaction to this?
Well, I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked. I think it would be fair to use the word surprised here. I was in Liverpool about 10 days ago for a Horasis Global meeting as part of an International Festival of Business, and we did a segment from there. And there I mentioned the disconnect that I felt by the people on the streets, pubs in Liverpool, versus the government people and the business people in Liverpool where the conference was taking place. And when you talk to these people, Susan, on the streets, they were talking about, they were saying the word sovereignty all the time. And when we were talking about the government and business people, they were so confident in themselves because Labour and the government together were going for the same objective. And the Labour Party, one of the former Labour representatives told me, look, we're very good at getting our people onto the voting booth on the day of any kind of voting. So we're pretty confident that we're going to get this done. But that disconnect seemed to have won.
But at what cost, Saruhan? I mean, you know, this is one of the world's largest economies. Did they talk about that? Did they factor that in?
They did. I'm sure in the behind closed doors, business people were talking about it all the time because 52 to 48, right? It was 51 to 49, 52 to 48. That was the range. So that's why I'm not shocked that this happened. I'm surprised. But yes, there are measures that are taking place. Business people are redoing their strategies. Government is working on adding more bureaucrats because they have to do a lot of trade and investment deals. A lot needs to be done in the next 2 to 3 years in that regard.
So in a perfect world, tell us what you think this Brexit will look like. Something like Switzerland or Norway, where they're not part of the EU, but maintain a free trade with the bloc. How do you see this shaping up?
Let's hope that will be the case, but the EU is pretty upset with the UK. And the Article 50, Treaty of Lisbon, created Article 50 in 2007. The drafters never thought this would happen, so they left Article 50 pretty vague, Susan, in that if a government wanted to leave, they could invoke this article, but they didn't give a specific timetable. So technically, the UK can sit on this. Will they? Probably not, because people would be upset. But then it would take about 2 years to just exit. And then 3 to 4 years to negotiate all the trade and investment deals. So we're looking at a medium to long-term consequences here. Short-term, I'm not too worried about because the central banks are out there. They're going to inject liquidity into the markets. Medium to long-term is what we need to be watching for.
Our reporter, Kay Parkinson, talking about discontent in Austria and Italy. Do you see the UK actually making an example, I mean the EU making an example out of the UK in hopes that this will deter others from following the UK?
Absolutely. This was a shot at ever closer union. Ever closer union was killed last night. We have to agree with that, even though we don't like it. So yes, there could be follow-ups to this. Why? Because people are discontent. People are not happy with what's going on with the EU. We're talking about, and this is what happens when the economic measures that you apply don't work, and people are still unemployed, economic growth is anemic, and then populism comes in. We're seeing it in the United States, so we're not that foreign to this here. But yes, why not in AfD in Germany? Why not Le Pen's National Party in France? Italy has these fringe parties. We know what happened in Greece. So yes, that could easily happen. These countries will say, well, why not us? I think France is already talking about it.
So you do feel like it's a broader sentiment across Europe?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and definitely triggered by immigration concerns.
And let's talk about the UK itself. What do we see happening with it? Breaking up?
Breaking up, well, that's a great question. I think Scotland and Northern Ireland, well, they voted to stay in, and they're talking about, as a matter of fact, Scottish Foreign Minister, I think today said, this is not democratic. We want to stay. We voted to stay, so why shouldn't we stay? So I wouldn't be surprised if the referendum comes back up to the table for Scotland and Northern Ireland as well. Wales state voted for Brexit, so I'm not sure if they'll be as eager to do this. But yes, in the medium to long term, I am seeing breakup.
Huge impact on the United States. Wall Street has so long used London as really a hub for dealing with the other European countries. Goldman Sachs just built a big office building there, talking about thousands of employees there. How will the U.S. adapt with all of this?
Well, this is what I communicate with my clients today. Some of them are really worried, but I don't think the impact on the U.S. will be that big. And here is why. because the U.S. will have a special relations with the U.K. President Obama said that today. We want a special trading status with the UK, and they're going to start working at it immediately, maybe even Monday, maybe on the weekend, I don't know, but they'll start very quickly. In terms of the impact on the stock market, this is a short-term impact. This was a clear depiction of investor uncertainty as to what's going to happen in the UK. Come a week, 2 weeks, I think things are going to settle in the financial markets, and again, after the short-term uncertainties, when the dust settles in, I should say, the impact on the U.S. is not going to be as big as people are making it out to be.
Well, it's going to be an interesting few days with the EU leaders
Certainly.
meeting for sure. Saruhan, great to see you. Thank
It
you
was a
so
pleasure.
much.